Hello, my name is HAPruitt and I am the author of Anelthalien, and this video is going to be about marketing your book with bookstores. I'm going to divide it up into before you have your book published, around the time you have your book published, and then after you have your book published, because each time is kind of different about how you want to reach out to bookstores in order to sell your book. So before your book is published, it doesn't matter how long before, it's never too early to start researching and building relationships with bookstores. So first of all, just kind of research bookstores around where you live, bookstores you could actually travel to, maybe an hour away at most, or maybe a larger city that you visit often. Just look up bookstores, go to, type it into Google Maps, and more will come up than you probably know about. I know it did whenever I did that and I looked up bookstores. So research the bookstores, get their contact information, email, phone number, address, things like that, and just compile it in a list for your information that you can refer to. And then when you look at the titles and when you look through them, make sure they're bookstores that would actually carry your book. I know I ran into a lot of bookstores that were used bookstores and they didn't carry new books. And so obviously my book was new when I was researching them before it was published. So they wouldn't carry my book. Any bookstores that really fit your genre best are going to be the best ones. So maybe put a star by those. But research and make your list of any bookstores that would possibly carry your book. And also for larger chain stores like Barnes & Noble and Mardel's and bookstores like that have several chains, they have different kind of requirements than just your local bookstore that only has the one in your town. So look up on their websites the requirements. Barnes & Noble required you to send a copy to them, a physical copy, so they could review it and decide if they wanted to have it in their store. So if you don't have any extra copies on hand, that might be a little difficult. Make sure you know what those bigger stores want before you even try to go after them. Do your research. Also, before your book is published, build relationships. This one, it's not easier for me, but it's a little bit easier than the research and stuff. Go to the bookstores, visit the bookstores, have chats with the workers. Think about the people you know. Is there anyone I know who's ever worked at a bookstore, who has a connection to a bookstore? My husband worked in a bookstore at one point during our marriage, and so that was really convenient because he could just, drop in and be like, oh, hey guys, yeah, this is going on. Oh, hey, my wife wrote a book. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you think you'd want to carry it? And they're like, oh yeah, we love you. We love your wife. So see if you have any connections. Talk with people. If they know you, they're more likely to be like, oh yeah, really? Oh, that's really cool. And build those relationships up because it helps a lot. So and then once you have all that, create your plan of how you're going to generate sales for those bookstores. Call it your marketing plan or your marketing timeline. Think about the actions you will take in order to show people that your book is at that store and in order to show people that it's worth going to that store to buy your book. Put up flyers around, make your plan about maybe putting flyers up around town, maybe going to library events and kind of handing out your information. Send info packets about your book to different community groups. I sent out my info packets to churches and youth groups and things like that because my book is a Christian fiction novel, and so they would be interested in Christian fiction. Also put it up on social media. Hey, my book's going to be at such and such bookstore. And just think about all the different actions you would take and make a plan, make a timeline, because the timeline helps to know how to generate a constant rising excitement about your book. So I started kind of figuring this out in August and my book was published in January. It came out in January. So in August, I didn't want to say, hey guys, my book is at such and such bookstore, because people will say, okay, I'm going to go get it. And when they don't see it, they're like, well, that was dumb. And they'll just forget about it 6 months later or whatever. So think about, just start telling people, write it in your plan. When I'm going to start telling people that I'm writing a book, and then the next month tell a little more, the next month tell a little more. Start just going through and thinking about how can I slowly generate this excitement, so at the point when it's published, I can be doing these different actions that show people, go to this store, go to this place to buy my book. And they'll want to because you've gotten them excited about it slowly. So that's all you need to do. Maybe not all, but that's what I have found is helpful to do before your book is published. So around the day your book is published, either your release day, which is when it is available to buy but doesn't start shipping yet, or around your on sale day when it does start shipping, is when you want to go to those stores, because the stores, the sellers, can buy it before, at least with my book, my case, they could buy it from HarperCollins before it would start sending out, because on Amazon, like if somebody clicked it on Amazon on my release day, it wouldn't start shipping to them, but it would start shipping to distributors. So it's a good time to go to bookstores around your release day before it actually starts shipping, so they can learn about it and get to know it and figure out if they want to stock it and have time to stock it. So when your on sale day comes, they're able to say, it's on the shelf, we're selling it today. So around that day, physically go to the stores. This is the time where you go to the stores, introduce yourself, introduce your book, and talk about your book, tell them about your book, bring your book and show it to them. And then ask if you could talk with their manager about stocking your book, and either make an appointment later or talk to them right then, depending on what happens. And also make sure to leave them with your plan. That plan I was talking about, type it out. Say, I'm going to do this, 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 and this to make sure readers come to your store to buy this book, so they can know if your book is actually going to be worth stocking. Because in the end, bookstores don't want to sell a book that's going to sit on the shelf. They really ultimately care about if people are going to buy it and it is going to profit them as a store. So that's what they want to know. Type up that plan, leave them with a plan, leave them with your information, leave them with your business card, or just how to reach you. And also, if possible, if you have extra copies, leave them with a copy of the book so they can look at it and read it and think about, yeah, this is a good book and we do want it in our store. And then after that, after you do the meeting, after you do the visit, follow up. Visit the store again. Just be a presence in the store. Also ask them, hey, did you think about my book? Don't be pushy, but also you kind of got to be like, I really am working to sell my book. Because if they see you're working to sell your book, they're going to say, well, if that person is working to sell their book to me, they're going to be working to tell other people about it, so they come to us and buy the book from us. They want to see that work ethic in you. And also, I was talking about the bigger chain stores. Around your release day, look up, you've already looked up hopefully, figure out the requirements, get your stuff together to meet those requirements, and send in the book, send in the packet, do whatever those bigger chain stores want in order to meet their requirements. There's the word. To meet their requirements, so you can have a chance to get in their stores. And then after your book is published, after your book is out, anybody can buy it anywhere. Not anywhere, anybody can buy it. Keep doing those things. Keep making plans. Keep thinking of ideas. How can I tell people how to buy my book? Where are any bookstores I can ask if they want to carry my book? It's maybe not never too late, but it's never really too late to try to go to bookstores. Even if your book's been out for a few years, it might be new to them and it might be new to the community, and so it would be like a new book. So it's never too late to try to keep doing that stuff that you did, making the plans, going to the bookstores, having conversations, convincing them that they need to carry your book, because you are going to work to help them sell copies, to convince everybody else that they need to go to that store. Because as I said, stores don't want to carry a book that doesn't sell. They want to carry a book that does sell. And so make it as easy as possible for them to just get it on their shelves and sell it for a profit for them. And so another thing I wanted to say was, with independent publishers, bookstores sometimes won't stock them just because they're independently published. As I said, my husband worked at a bookstore, and he said that sometimes independent publishers were very difficult to work with. They said, you can only buy it on this term and this term and this term. Make it as easy as possible for them to buy it. And be kind. He said there were people who were just not very nice, and they said, well, I'm selling these books out of my basement, so you're just going to have to wait on my timing, how I want to do it. Don't be like that. That's just kind of common sense. Be kind to the people who you want to do business with. Make it as easy as possible. Meet what they want you to do, you know, within reason, of course. But meet their requirements. If they say, we have these requirements, say, okay, because ultimately, it's your job to sell your book. It's not the bookstore's job to sell your book. And so you gotta sell your book and make make people want to help you sell it. So that's some advice about how to get your book into bookstores so it can be in a place where somebody can just walk by and pick it up and look at it, as opposed to just online where people may not find it if they're not looking for it. Bookstores, physical bookstores are good for that. People like to browse. People like to look. And so there's a lot better chance that they'll just pick it up and find it in a bookstore than find it accidentally online. So I hope that's helpful. Bye for now. Hi, if you want to know more about Anelthalien, please follow me on Instagram, check out my Facebook page, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or visit my website at HAPruitt.com. Thanks for watching.